The screen of the digital media player glowed with a weak, sickly light in the dark hallway. There was no music on it. There were only 5 photographs. Eric stared at the final image. It showed a bed, the sheets saturated in a dark, heavy liquid. Resting perfectly in the center of the stained mattress was a small, meticulously folded paper flower. I'm looking at Joel's room. I'm looking at my best friend's bed. The device slipped from his trembling hand, clattering against the cheap linoleum floor. What investigators would later piece together was this. 3 weeks earlier, Eric had moved into his freshman dormitory. It was a standard, sterile cinder block room. His roommate had arrived before him. He introduced himself simply. "I'm Zach." Zach was quiet. He unpacked very little. A few plain shirts, a toothbrush, and a digital media player that he kept clipped to his belt. He was the sort of person who blended in, the kind of guy nobody looked at twice. "Nice to meet you, man. I'm Eric." Eric had set his things up on the right side of the room. He placed a framed photograph of his girlfriend Andrea on his desk. Zach had watched him do it. "She's pretty. Does she go here?" "No, she's down at IU. About an hour drive."
Zach had nodded slowly. He didn't ask anything else. He just sat on his perfectly made bed, staring out the window. He's just a little socially awkward. A lot of freshmen are. It doesn't mean anything. That was the first rationalization. It would not be the last. By the second week, the small wrongnesses began to accumulate. Eric noticed that Zach never seemed to attend classes. He never brought food back to the room. He just listened to his media player and took long walks late at night. "Hey man, you heading out? It's past midnight. I like to walk. The campus is quiet at night. I can think." Eric had rolled over and gone to sleep. He didn't think anything of it at the time. But 3 days later, Eric returned from a late study session. The room was dark. He flicked on the desk lamp and reached for his books. He looked at the corner of his desk. The framed photograph of Andrea was gone. Only a faint rectangular outline in the dust remained. Did it fall? Did I move it? He checked the floor. He checked the drawers. The picture was simply gone. Zach was sitting on his bed in the dark, his back to Eric, staring out the window as always. "Hey Zach, have you seen the picture from my desk?" "No, I haven't seen it." Zach didn't turn around when he answered. His voice was completely flat. Eric felt the back of his neck prickle. He told himself it was nothing. He told himself he had probably misplaced it. The breaking point came 2 nights later. Eric woke up at 3:14 a.m. He couldn't have said what woke him. The room was silent in the way that made him aware of his own breathing. He opened his eyes. Zach was standing beside Eric's bed. He wasn't moving. He was just standing there in the pitch black, looking down. Eric's heart hammered against his ribs. He couldn't find his voice. He lay completely still, pretending to be asleep. He counted the seconds. He reached 60. Zach still hadn't moved. Oh God, why is he standing there? Why isn't he breathing? Finally, Zach turned and walked silently out of the room. The door clicked shut. Eric did not sleep the rest of the night. The next morning, Eric met his friend Joel at the campus coffee shop. The bright morning sun did nothing to dispel the cold knot in Eric's stomach. "Joel, I'm telling you, something is wrong with him. He was just standing over me, in the dark."
"Dude, that's creepy as hell. Have you talked to the RA?" "And say what? My roommate is weird? He hasn't actually done anything, but the picture of Andrea? I know he took it." Eric pulled out his laptop. He opened a search engine. "I don't even know his last name. I'll just search the dorm registry." He logged into the student portal. He found the room assignment. Zachariah Miller, Zionsville, Indiana. Eric typed the name into the search bar. The results loaded. The first link was a local news article from 3 weeks ago. The headline read, "Zionsville teenager Zach Miller stabbed to death. Culprit still missing." No, that can't be right. Eric clicked the link. A photograph loaded. It was a picture of Zach Miller, smiling in a high school marching band uniform.
It was not the face of the boy sleeping in Eric's room. Eric? What is it? He looks sick.
Joel, read this. Joel leaned over. His eyes scanned the text. The article detailed a gruesome murder. The victim had been mutilated. The only clue left at the scene was a meticulously folded origami flower resting on the body. Eric, the guy in your room, who the hell is he? He's the killer. He stole Zach's identity to get into the dorms. He's been living with me for 3 weeks. The realization hit Eric like a physical blow. The missing photograph, the late-night walks, the questions about Andrea. Andrea! He asked where she lived on the first day. Eric pulled out his phone. He called her number. It rang 4 times and went to voicemail. He dialed again. Nothing. Joel, you have to go to the police. Right now. Show them this article. Tell them he's in room 412. What are you going to do? I'm driving to Bloomington. I have to get Andrea.
The drive took 52 minutes. Eric's hands gripped the steering wheel so tightly his knuckles ached. He kept dialing her number. Finally, on the 7th try, the call connected.
Hello? Eric?
Andrea, thank God. Are you okay? Where are you?
I'm fine. I'm just getting back to my dorm from class. Why? You sound panicked.
Listen to me. Go into your room, lock the door, and do not open it for anyone. I am pulling up to your building right now. Eric sprinted across the campus quad. He took the stairs 2 at a time. He pounded on Andrea's door. She pulled it open, looking bewildered.
Eric, what is going on?
Eric pushed inside and locked the deadbolt. He was panting. He looked around the small room. Everything seemed normal. My roommate, the guy I told you about, he's not who he says he is. He's a murderer hiding from the police, and I think he's been coming here.
What? Eric, you're scaring me. Why would he come here?
Because he took your picture from my desk. Because he goes on walks every night. Andrea's face went perfectly pale. She walked over to her desk. Her hands were shaking.
Eric, 3 days ago I found something outside my door. I thought it was from a secret admirer.
She opened her top drawer. She pulled out 3 objects and set them on the bed. They were paper flowers. Meticulously folded origami flowers. He wasn't walking around our campus. He was driving here every night. We have to leave. Right now. We're going to the police station. Eric grabbed her hand. He reached for the doorknob. He pulled the door open. Resting exactly in the center of the welcome mat was a 4th origami flower. Beside it sat a digital media player, the one Zach always kept clipped to his belt. Eric stared at it. He didn't want to touch it. He picked it up anyway. He unfolded the paper flower. There was writing on the inside, written in neat, precise ink.
Eric, you once asked me what my major was. I think I'll choose photography. Your friend looks very peaceful when he sleeps, but I don't envy him. Eric turned on the media player. That was when he saw the photos. That was when he saw Joel's bed. The police raided room 412, 20 minutes later. The room was empty. The imposter had taken nothing except his clothes. Joel survived. The imposter had stood over his bed, taken the photograph, and left the flower. But he had not struck. Investigators believe he wanted Eric to find the device first. The man who called himself Zach Miller was never identified. He was never arrested. The investigation remains open. Eric and Andrea transferred to different universities in different states. They broke up 6 months later. Eric still checks the locks on his doors 3 times every night. He still checks the floor outside his apartment every morning.